This is Short Hammer. It is the 21st of June, 2020, and this is Trading Zones. I'll say the last week has been very interesting, just a mix of news. But what we'll realize is that we're still pushing all-time highs. So quite a few tickers are pushing up there, and we'll get to that. Right now, let's focus on the MES. So we saw a strong drop where we saw the buyer step in at candle structure, right? And they bought us back up out of that area, pushed us back up. We hit this 3156-ish area and couldn't go through there, pulled back, went below the 3118, tapped the 3064, and pushed back up, and then we're right back down. Sort of like we're pinging between this area here, right in this little slot. So what am I looking for next week? We're going to see. So if we hold this 3064, I would expect us to push back up to the 3118s. But at the same time, for me, what I'm watching is that we pushed 3156, pulled back, and on the reload, you want to push in a pop and a break and a retest of these levels up here. We didn't do that. We had another push here, and this wave to me is now higher than this wave. We'll see what Sunday brings when we open. But we need to get through the 3156s to get the bearish thoughts out of people's heads. In my estimation, what I'm looking at. Like I want to get through here quickly and get a squeeze. The news that's coming out about the rise in COVID-19 infections in certain states probably is not positive as far as what people are thinking in the market. So if we do happen to go down, the next levels that we're watching are right around the 3028, 2994, 2970, 2951, 2945, 2938, 2914, and 2887. That's to the downside. Let me broaden this out a little bit so we can take a look at that without the candle structure, just so you can see the numbers. Make that broad. And if we go to the upside, we have to clear 3156. But above 3156, we're looking out for 3180, 3221, and 3259 if we can go. So that's what we're watching for on the futures, just the structure here. But we need to get through this area here at the top. And if we don't hold this 3064, and you'll see some structure here, some tops that rejected, and then here kind of went sideways, just these tops. Then here, so you see the test of that area here on these little drops. If we don't get back through the 3156s soon, I think we see a little bit more sell side activity, and we might see a roll here that'll drop us down to the 2970s or lower. So we'll see how that shakes out. On the Russell, what we had mentioned was we saw this back test, this area here in the right above the 1350s, 1370s. Buyer stepped in, and this is a back test of a previous breakout area here. This is an area that we couldn't clear at first. We finally got back to it. The buyers pushed us through, and we tapped the next level. Just watching all this, right? And we had a pullback to roughly this area. Buyer stepped in, pushed us up. We got back to this this 1453. Pull back and a break, right? And this is a breakout. There we go. And on the pullback, there was didn't even sort of recognize this area. We have a slight push here off this strong pull down, drawdown into this area, but we didn't see any buying. Rolled right through that, and look at this selling. Then went sideways right here at the 1350s. Buyers tried, back tested here. This 1416 dropped, made a lower low. Then out of that area, they bought us up again. So to me, this is kind of undecided. I want to see what happens here, but a lot of people are predicting more downside. We'll see if that happens. For me, I'm just going to watch these levels. So if we don't hold this 1416, the next thing that I'm looking for is either look at this sort of swing low here, 1368 or 1350 is what I'm looking for to the downside. Then below that, 1290 and 1252. To the upside, if we hold and we get a little bit of buying action here, a little bit of squeeze, I'm watching 1453. Then I'm going to be watching 1516. But I will take into account the previous candle structure here where we sort of curved off and came back down. On to Amazon. And let me broaden this out. Okay, that should be good. So Amazon is one of those stocks, not just the main Amazon brand, but also their Whole Foods brand that did really well during the quarantine. So what we're looking for from Amazon is they are doing a Prime Day, I believe, this upcoming week. So they should have some massive sales there. So watching this, if you look at this pullback here, it pulled back into right around this 2505. So this last highway before we had this pullback, and the buyer stepped in and drove us back to the upside. We're testing all-time highs. This is actually I believe, the highest intraday close on Amazon ever. So Amazon is really pushing. What do I think is going to happen next week? For me, I need to see more upside. Yes, the highest intraday close of all time, but I need a pop. If they're going to be doing sales and pushing some prime sales and doing an event, I do expect that those numbers will be insane, and I do expect this to break and run. So we'll see how that works out. For me, I'm going to wait for the setup. If we pull back into this 26, will I be long? Nope, I will not be. I'll be waiting for a setup because right now, for me, I need to see advancement up through this 27-24 before I'm believing in some sort of a breakout. Because Amazon, what it does is it goes from consolidation to expansion, and this is a nice bit of expansion here. Not Amazon's typical, $200-300 run, but we'll see if we have more upside here. I like to play Amazon on the intraday, utilizing pivots and pivot script setups, and so we'll see what Amazon does on Monday. But this is just, the entire market is very bullish. Be careful, because just because the market is bullish and tickers are bullish does not mean that the underlying data is actually also bullish. So this thing can reverse on us quickly and sell. So be careful if you're in Amazon, and just follow the trend of the day when you're trading Amazon. Like usually, but watch Amazon. It'll usually tell you which direction it's going. And if it's choppy, do not trade it, because you want range on Amazon. Next up is Netflix, one of the aforementioned quarantine companies that has done well during the quarantine, and they're pushing back up through this little channel that we had, this little zone that we had right here. I say little zone, and pushing their all-time intraday highs, not too far away. So what are we watching here on Netflix? Will it hold above this little area here that we have shaded? And we will see bullish action above the 457, the all-time intraday highs. We'll see on Netflix. Based on that, there are new outbreaks being mentioned in different parts of the country. I do think that there is a possibility that Netflix may be able to hold on to those numbers that they gained as far as viewership in March. So if they're able to hold on to a nice segment of those new subscribers, then their next quarter earnings, or should I say, yeah, earnings will be pretty good, because we judge Netflix, it seems, just on the amount of new subscribers. So that's going to be interesting to see with Netflix. But to the upside, you have to watch the 457s. To the downside, I'll watch this zone here, this 440 by 447, to see if the buyers step in if we pull back. If we pull below that and we're weak, then I'll be fading this down. I'll probably jump out some of the this right here, orange line, the 200 SMA at 426. But we'll see how this trade takes shape. Nvidia also near all-time highs. We had a little bit of sideways action here, pullback, and buyers are squeezing. We'll see if the buyers can hold and pop the highs here as far as intraday. And if they do, they need to get us over that 380 area, from what I'm seeing, that top wick. So we'll see how Nvidia works there. But to the downside, we've been watching 363, 360, 351, 339, 325, and it's like 317-ish. To the upside, it's nothing but blue skies if we happen to pop and break. Apple also pushing all-time highs, but we saw a little bit of sell side. So we'll see how that bears out on Monday. If the buyers step in, if that was just a small liquidation event. But we'll be watching Apple to see what we can get. If there's a trade there, if there's a setup there that we like. To the downside here, from where we are, we have, let's see, this area here is going to be a small area. This 330 area right through here. Below that, I think we'll find support at around 319, 318-ish. So that's what I'll be keeping an eye on. For me, what I would love to see if I'm trading Apple is a drop down into the 318 area where I see this candle structure, and that we spent time there for days, and I would expect buying out of that 318 area. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and set an alert. Oh, I'll come back and do it, because that looks like it's dragging a little bit. So let's move on to Microsoft. Microsoft also testing all-time highs. We were mentioning it's one of those tickers that was not moving when the market was going, and it was kind of going sideways and consolidating, but it's broken out. It pulled back, and the buying has continued. So we had to see if this is going to break and hold the 195.82. That is what I'll be looking for on Microsoft. If it does happen to sell, we'll be watching the 191s, 187s, 185s, 183s, and 176. Facebook also at all-time highs. And what we want to look at on Facebook is that there has been a slight little bit of bullish advancement above this 238, but not too much. We'll see if it rejects, because so far, let's see. Okay. So we have to see if this is going to sell from this area. So what we want to see, if you're bullish, you need advancement above 240.90s, and you need bullish candlestick formations. If you're bearish, you want this to stay below 240.92, and you want this to just sell. And the next levels up are the 237, 236, 228, 222, 218. So that is your best bet on Facebook. I wouldn't jump in the middle unless you're sure about your setup. REGN, we mentioned previously that when it pushes up into the sixes, it sells. It has done that in the past, but looks like no more. So out of this, just this, I'll say like this force of choppiness. Now that we're out of that, we can see that Amazon's reaching. So, I mean, not Amazon, REGN is reaching. So we shall see how this shakes out. What I'll be watching on Monday on REGN, I probably will not be trading REGN on Monday. But if you are trading REGN on Monday, what I would be watching for is a pullback into this 619 by 623 area to see if the buyers step in. CI. So CI is above the 190.88. What we'd like to see here is, let's see, pull back. Is a is a higher low, yes. So we don't want this to go below this 187-ish, 187-ish area. So we'll see if we can get a pop. If we can hold above that, we get a nice little pop in the market. Let's see, a small pop in the market. We can be a push. It could be a push up into the 202 area. I do like CI as a company. They do have earnings coming up in July. Okay, so that'll be interesting. And all these tickers that have earnings coming up in July, the next like month or two, if you're more than 30 days out, you want to look for a dip to be able to buy into. So that's just something to keep an eye on. Let's check out. Keep your eye on Zoom. So let's push. See if we pop all-time highs. When this thing has popped all-time highs, it seems that it goes on a nice little run. So keep an eye on that. Gonna be interesting. But this is another one of those quarantine type tickers that benefits from people being at home and needing to teleconference. So I'll be watching Zoom early morning Monday to see what we get. There should be some sort of a reaction. Let's see. Tesla, strong. We'll see if we can push all-time highs and hold above the 1,019 area. If we pull back, I'm going to be watching the 994 where we roughly are right now, then the 969, then the 977 areas to see if we see an infusion of buying at that point. McDonald's, we had a nice push here, push above 201, but a retrace back through this little zone / channel that we have here. It looks like it found a little bit of a bid. Okay, push back above, back tested into this zone, and sold back off. This is a perfect setup. So we'll see if we see increasing selling on Monday that pushes this below the 200 SMA and down to about it's 93 area, so 178. So that would be nice. So we'll see if we get down to 178 on McDonald's, or if they're strong enough to hold this and push this back up into the zone and above. Okay. Now let's check out Goldman Sachs. We're right in the channel that we mentioned. We rejected it first. Now we are pushed above, brought back in, pushed above, brought back in, pushed above, brought back in. So what we want to see is if you're bullish, you want to see buyers get us up out of here and see a nice little squeeze up into 214, then 216. If you're a seller, you want this to roll over and push the bottom of the zone. So that's what we'll be watching for to see. Let's do that one. Let's go here. Check out the SPY. And this little flare down here, right into this candle structure, almost touched our zone. They bought us back up out of that area. We pushed into the 31.15 and look, pull back. SPY is interesting. I'll be watching the next levels. If we can't hold above 307, I'll be watching 302, 294, and 286. If we do hold above and I see buyers stepping in, then I'm watching 315, then 320. If you liked this video, please go ahead and tap the like button. And feel free to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Power of Pivots, where you can look forward to receiving more content from me, but also content from Elisa as she shows you how she utilizes her Power of Pivot script to find great entries, not just intraday, but also on swing plays, pre-market setups, and also the futures. Thank you so much for your time. Remain safe and have a wonderful week of trading.